All right, let's talk about a problem that pretty much every single person who's ever studied for anything has run into. And better yet, let's talk about how to solve it with a technique that is, no joke, one of the most powerful learning tools you will ever find.
You know the feeling, right? You've spent days, maybe even a whole week, just buried in your notes. You've made the flashcards, highlighted the textbook until it's glowing. You walk into that exam room feeling, pretty good. And then you sit down, you flip over the paper, and poof, it's all gone. Your mind is just a total blank.
So that moment, that absolute nightmare scenario in the exam room, it's not a sign that you're not smart enough. It's not even a sign that you didn't study enough. It's actually a symptom of a really deep, really common problem with how most of us are taught to learn.
And that's the absolute worst part about it, isn't it? It feels like the information is right there, just locked away in a little box in your brain, but you've suddenly forgotten the key. You know it, but you just can't get to it when you need it most. So frustrating.
Okay, so what is actually happening here? Well, the root of this entire problem comes down to a huge misunderstanding between two totally different ways our brain works: recognition and retrieval. And I'm telling you, getting this one thing wrong is why so many people can study for hours and still not get the results they want.
And look, this isn't just you. This is an incredibly common misconception. It affects almost every student out there. We think we're learning, but really, we're just creating an illusion. We're getting really, really good at recognizing stuff that looks familiar.
And this slide just breaks it down perfectly. See, recognition is passive. It's that feeling you get when you reread your notes and think, oh yeah, I remember this. I got it. It feels comfortable. It feels easy. But retrieval, that's totally different. That's active. It's pulling that knowledge out of your brain from absolutely nothing, with no hints. And let me tell you, it's supposed to feel hard. That's the point.
This is such a brilliant way to put it. Think about it. You could probably recognize 1,000 pens today. But could you sit down with a blank piece of paper and draw one perfectly, with all the little details, just from memory? Probably not. Recognizing is simply not the same as knowing, and that is the absolute key.
So if our goal is to train for retrieval, not just recognition, how do we do it? We need a better test, a more honest one. And that is where the white paper challenge comes in.
Now, the process itself sounds almost too simple. Step 1, you put everything away. Your books, your notes, your laptop, all of it. Get rid of your safety nets. Then you take a completely blank sheet of paper and you try to reconstruct the entire topic from memory. And here's the crucial part, the game changer. You are not making a list. You are drawing a map.
Because here's the thing, true understanding isn't about memorizing a list of disconnected facts. It's about seeing the network, the relationships between the facts. Your goal with this map is to draw the connections. How does this idea lead to that one? Why is this concept related to that other one? That's what your map needs to show.
Now you're probably thinking, wow, that sounds really hard. And you're right, it is. But that difficulty, that's actually the entire reason it's so incredibly effective. So let's look at the science behind why this struggle literally builds a stronger brain.
The secret is a cool cognitive science principle called desirable difficulty. All it means is that the struggle, the effort you feel when you're trying to pull information out of your brain, that's not a sign of failure. That struggle is the very thing that cements knowledge into your long-term memory. Learning that feels too easy is often forgotten just as easily.
Think of it like going to the gym for your brain. You're not going to build any muscle by lifting a feather, right? You need to lift something heavy. The white paper challenge is exactly that. It's heavy lifting for your mind. It's tough for sure, but that strain is precisely what builds real intellectual muscle.
And this mental workout gives you immediate, concrete benefits. Right away, you start seeing all the little holes in your understanding. It forces your brain to go deeper than just knowing what things are and to start explaining why they're connected. And that is the gateway to real, long-term learning.
And this is a huge, huge mindset shift. That moment when you get stuck, when you're staring at the blank paper and you just can't remember what comes next, that's not a moment for frustration. That's a moment of victory. Seriously, you've just found a knowledge gap. You've found exactly what you need to go back and study.
Doing this consistently doesn't just help you pass a test. The long-term payoff is way bigger. It's about changing the way you learn so you can actually own your knowledge for good.
This challenge helps you get rid of something called learning debt. You know what that is. It's when you cram just enough to pass the test, but a week later, you couldn't actually use that information to save your life. You've basically taken out a loan on your understanding,
And trust me, that bill always comes due.
All that time you spend wrestling with that blank piece of paper, that's an investment. You are literally buying back your future time. By truly learning it the hard way once, you break that exhausting cycle of learning and forgetting and relearning the same stuff year after year.
So at the end of the day, when you can sit down with nothing but a blank sheet of paper and build that entire interconnected knowledge map purely from memory, well, you've gone way beyond just recognizing things. You have proven that you can retrieve it, connect it, and explain it. At that point, you don't just remember it anymore, you own it.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Think about a subject that you think you know really, really well. Go grab a pen, a blank sheet of paper, and ask yourself, what topic will my first white paper challenge be on?